Hello, this is a Drafthouse Diary for Thursday, November 13th, 2025, when I went to the Alamo Drafthouse at Sloan's Lake to see Predator Badlands. This is not exactly my first Predator movie. I saw Predator not long after it came out in 1987, and that was the last time I saw a Predator movie. I know there were sequels. I know there were Alien versus Predator movies. And I know very little about any of those. So much of what I have to say about Badlands might be ridiculous and might make no sense to anyone who knows anything about the timeline or the continuity of this series. Though actually, I hope that there isn't really much by way of continuity or a coherent timeline. I think that is overrated when talking about long-running movie franchises. A week ago, I saw The Return of Godzilla. That is a 1985 movie that completely ignores all of the Godzilla movies that happened between 1954 and 1984. And it behaves as if it is the sequel to the original Godzilla. I think that is great. Not everything has to fit into a precise chronology suitable for satisfying those who want everything tucked away and in its proper place. So let's talk about Predator Badlands. It is almost exactly a 180-degree turn from the original Predator. It is a survival horror action movie, and the Predator is the underdog who must survive. Our lead character is Dek. He is a Yautja, one of the species from which the Predator came. But Dek is the runt of his clan, so he must travel to a brutally dangerous wilderness planet to hunt its most deadly creature. And if he returns home with that trophy, he can take his place in the clan. If he does not, that means he has died. So we're rooting for a character who is superficially similar to the ruthless killer of the original Predator movie. And they do a good job of getting us to root for him. The story sets things up very well to make us sympathetic to this character. And I have to commend whatever combination of makeup, prosthetics, and visual effects professionals are responsible for this character's face, because they take the gruesome visage of the Predator and make it expressive. We can see nuances in Demetrius Schuster-Okolomatangi's performance, with all of its concern, fear, pathos, and determination. Now, they don't have us sympathize with the Predator. I'm just going to call him the Predator. They don't have us sympathize with the Predator enough to have us cheer him on while he slaughters battalions of human beings. No, they don't do that, because the only creatures from Earth that Dek encounters are synthetic persons from Weyland-Yutani Corporation. That's right, this takes place not only in the far future from the original Predator, which remember was set in the mid-1980s, but also the far future of all of the Alien movies, which I guess means that this is in the same continuity as not only Predator, but also Alien, and therefore presumably Alien versus Predator. Like I said, I think that's kind of beside the point to try to fit these things together. Though I have a sneaking suspicion that efforts have been made to that effect. You do not need to send me links. Weyland-Yutani Corporation being Weyland-Yutani Corporation, they have sent a heavily equipped mission staffed entirely with synthetics to this death planet in order to retrieve samples promising for use as bioweapons. But one particular synthetic is the one that Dek meets first, and she is different. Thea, played by Elle Fanning, is a synthetic who was heavily damaged by an encounter with the very beast that the Predator has come to hunt. So they come to an agreement, sort of, where she will lead him to the place where he will find his prey, because that's also the place where she can repair herself and reunite with the rest of her mission. So the middle chunk of the movie is a buddy travel picture in which we get opportunities for the characters to learn and grow and bond, punctuated by pretty well-constructed action beats. And the last third of the movie is a confrontation with the team from Weyland-Yutani, who are as ruthless as any representations of the company we've seen in any of the Alien movies. There's nothing truly groundbreaking in this movie, but it's a very engaging and very competent sci-fi action ride. And it features some really good performances, including Elle Fanning's, which rise above what we often see in this kind of film. So it was very entertaining. I'm not clamoring for a sequel, but then I wasn't clamoring for a sequel to Predator back in 1987. Other parts of my trip to the Alamo. The pre-show was made for this movie, or at least it was made for Predator movies in general. It had various commercials for things like Predator toys and promos and comedy bits featuring Predators, such as a long clip about a Predator visiting the offices of a Japanese game publisher. We also got a long clip from a Japanese TV show where a samurai fights an alien robot, plus an Alamo curated appreciation of their 100 favorite alien encounters from movie history. I think I've seen that before, probably in front of an alien movie. We also got the clip If Predator Were Sexy, which takes an Arnold Schwarzenegger, Carl Weathers scene from Predator and adds very different music. For dinner, I got a Caesar salad wrap once again. It was good, as always, but it suffered a containment failure that turned it into a salad mixed with tortilla, and I had to request a fork to eat it. But this was a fun night at the movies, featuring a decent action film with a lot of heart. If you want to see my review of that Return of Godzilla movie, take a look at this video next. And thanks for joining me for this Drafthouse Diary. I'll be back soon with more. In the meantime, enjoy your movies, and when you do, stay till the end of the credits.